very first video. So welcome to my channel. I'm a composer and arranger, so I'm gonna talk about music production and all the arrangements that I do for my music projects like ads, film, theater, etc. Okay, so what I have are four songs of Asin that I'm gonna arrange as a medley, and they're gonna be used for the tribute ceremony or the awarding ceremony as a tribute number to them. I have four songs to work with. The first one would be Balita, gonna be sung by Casey Tandingan, and to be followed by Yeng Constantino with Himig Ng Pag-ibig. That's a very popular song of Asin. And the third one will be a duet by Cooky, Chua, and Bayang Barios. It's gonna be Masdan Mo Kapaligiran. And the finale song will be sung by none other than Noel Cabangon. It's gonna be Pagbabalik. He already created his own version of this one a few years back when he released an album. So it's really a challenge to make it a little more interesting than what he already did before. The challenge here is that the format of the songs of Asin is they are formatted in a way that it's just repeating the verses, not the usual verse chorus bridge arrangement or format. Their songs are just repeating the verses. Most of their songs just repeat the verses with different lyrics. So luckily for me, the last song that will be sung by Noel is the Pagbabalik song, which is a very good hook or chorus. So I'm excited to work on that. Let's check out the first video or the first breakdown that I'm gonna do for this song, and let's see how I managed to create a pretty good, interesting arrangement of the song. So this in front of us right now is my arrangement of that medley. So like I said, there are gonna be four parts, and the first one is going to be sung by KZ Tandingan, which is the song Balita. This was already done by Black Eyed Peas. So I wanted to do something different, a little closer to the original, but I want to give the filmmaker some space to establish the scene, especially that the producers told me that they wanted this song to be a little reflective of the condition of the country and society in general in the Philippines right now, which is tragic. So I wanted that to be reflected in the opening. One of my major considerations here is, of course, the range of the singers. So it's pretty easy because I'm starting with her, so I know her range, and I'm starting with her. So it gets pretty interesting later when we try to transition from one key to another because it's a different song and a different singer with a different singing range. So here's the opening. I decided to go with just a piano and the cello there, establishing the iconic melody of this song.
Lapit mga kaibigan at makinig kayo. Ako'y may dala-dalang balita.
Okay, I put in a little development here. I wanted to propel the rhythm of the song and to give somewhat a feeling of urgency in relation to what she's singing. The lyrics goes, lapit mga kaibigan at makinig kayo. So it's like gathering people to listen to you. And that's exactly why I didn't want to start big. Because when people gather, they don't gather all at one time. So it's like to give you a feeling of this one person, the next person, like coming together. As soon as she sang here,
Lapit mga kaibigan
I put in this
at makinig
spiccato strings.
kayo.
So it's developing, it's giving you a sense of urgency, a sense of a feeling that there's something important happening. So there. So let's see what happens.
Kung ipamahagi ang mga kwento at mga pangyayaring nagaganap sa lupang pinangako.
Okay, so I just tried to develop there. It's like saying that, okay, here's the beginning of the story. Dito na tayo mag-umpisa. So the rhythm came in, the drums. I also used here, well, not really a kulintang, but something that sounds like that. The patch that I actually used is this Balinese gamelan. It sounds very close to what we have here in the Philippines. So just to establish a little Filipino mood.
Mula nang makita ko ang lupain ito, nakita ko rin ang munting apoy sa puso ng tao, ginatungan ng mga kapulutan hanggang sa lumago. Ngayon ang puso ay may tao sa lupang pinangako.
Okay, what happened there? That's basically me trying to personalize the song to the style of the singer. So KZ is very known for this type of arrangement, popish feel arrangement, like a pop orchestra feel arrangement. So KZ is very known for like funky rhythms like that, typical bagsakan of the banda, and some of her most iconic performances are like that. So that's me trying to make the song fit in with the singer. So let's see how I transition from one key to another. So this key is in A minor. It's in A minor. So the next tune or the next song that I'm gonna try to get into is Yeng Constantino's Himig ng Pag-ibig. So Himig ng Pag-ibig, this was already sung by Yeng before. She made a version of this. So it's easy. I know her range, her key for this song is in D. So how is that gonna happen? I'm in A minor. I'm gonna transition to D major. So if I'm in D major, I'm supposed to have like an A7 to be able to transition to the key D. So that's the common way, targeting the fifth, to the dominant fifth of the home key. But right now I tried to do something different. Okay, let's see what happened. Okay, so what happened there? So what happened is from A minor, what I did was I tried to quote a line from the song that we're gonna the next song that's coming up. So in this case, I just quoted the melody of the song. So that's what I used. I just created an intro with that quotation line. But how did I get there? Okay, so coming from A minor. So basically, I just created this transitional passage. Everything there is just still in the key of A minor. It just feels different, just to give a feeling, because I landed in E. But basically, it's still in A minor. Everything is still in A minor. It's because of this one. Okay, so I create a leading passage there. Once I landed in E, I transition to F sharp major. This is the fifth of F sharp. Okay, so my target was F sharp, and that's where I inserted the quotation from the next song. Okay, so again, this passage, using the melody, I was able to land on D. Because if I do that on F sharp, I will be able to land on the third of D, which is the target key. Which is the key I'm targeting because that's the key Yeng will sing in. I managed to do that by knowing the melody that I want and where it's gonna land. I wanted to insert the melody, but I wanted the last note to be relevant to the target key, which is D. So it's either I'm gonna target the last note to be the first of D, which is D, or the third or the fifth. In this case, I ended up doing the third of D. So I was able to land the right key where Yeng should be singing in. So that's what happened there. Let's listen to it again. F sharp. The melody. The last note ends in the third of the key I want to be in, which is D. Okay, but how did I manage to establish that key when although that's a stable note there, but it changed too fast coming from F sharp and then suddenly 2 bars later we're already in D. So that's why I inserted this riff on the guitar. Okay. Okay, that is to reinforce the third. To make sure that our ears are already set on the home key, which is D. So I sandwiched the third there just to make sure that everything is funneled into the third of the key of D. Okay, let's see how that worked again. Once we landed on D, I inserted that riff on the guitar to reinforce the key so that we won't feel off once the singer starts singing the key of D. Riff.
Sa pagsapit ng dilim, ako'y naghihintay pa rin sa iyong maagang pagdating.
I continued using the riff or the guitar ad-libs just to be consistent.
Bawat sandali mahalaga sa atin. Tulad ng ibong malaya ang pag-ibig natin. Tulad ng langit na kay sarap marating.
Okay. So I also used the celesta here. This instrument here. To give a very cutesy baby feeling here. Because, I don't know. Just wanted that. Because Yeng is such a rock and roll singer. So I wanted to give her a little irony or a challenge that she would be singing with that kind of background, a very cuddly feeling. So at this point, you're gonna get pretty bored once after one verse, and you're gonna repeat the same verse. So I just made a little transition here, or I just shifted the key one key higher, to be able to, so that we won't get tired of that same key and same melody. Oh, we're on D. Very simple. The fifth of the chord. Well, we're in D. I wanted to go to E. So the fifth of D is A. I just pushed it one step higher. One whole step higher so that I'll go to E. There. There's the fifth and then fifth. And shift.
Ang bawat tibok ng puso'y kay sarap damhin. Tulad ng himig na kay sarap awitin.
Okay. Like what I did with Casey, I put in some elements here that will make it a little more like Yeng. So since she's a pop rock star, I inserted once we shifted to E, I inserted the rock guitars. So I put in some drive guitars there.
Bawat
to open it up a little. Okay, so there. So this is the transition going to the next key, which is G. So Cooky and Bayang, I know, are gonna sing in G. So we're coming from the key E. Okay? So in the family of G, we know that E should be minor. So how did we manage to go to G coming from an E major? So here's the transition.
Sarap awitin.
Okay, that's very basic. So what happened is we just inserted A minor out of the blue. A minor and D going to G. So we just targeted the fifth of G to be able to change our perception of the key. So here's what happened. A minor. And then D, there's a break in the D. Hence, the G in the beginning.
Wala ka bang napapansin sa iyong mga kapaligiran? Kay dumi na ng hangin, ba't ang mga batang ngayon lang?
Okay, so that part is already Bayang Barios' part. So what I did is I just changed some, or just inserted some elements that will make it a little more like Bayang. So Bayang is known for her ethnic ethnic music, so more indigenous instruments that she's using. So I inserted the kulintang feel, and I inserted some epic toms here. So this is what happened. This is the additional elements here. Solo. To make it feel a little more ethnic, a little more Filipino there. Though not the epic toms. It's just supposed to give you a little tribal feel there. Yeah, so I think it works.
Ngayon lang isinilang, may hangin pa kayang matitikman? May mga puno pa kaya silang aakyatin? May mga ilog pa kayang lalanguyan?
And then the duet.
Bakit di natin pag-isipan ang nangyayari sa ating kapaligiran? Hindi na masama ang pagunlad kung hindi nakakasira ng kalikasan.
Okay, so that's another transition from the key of G going to Noel's key of A. Okay, so what happened?
Sira ng kalikasan.
Okay, so simple. Coming from G. Well, you know, E is the fifth of A. So there you go. Basically, that's what happened. And then just some fancy passage.
Sira ng kalikasan.
And then to establish the key, I used this arpeggio of 1 and 5.
Sa gitna ng dilim, ako ay
Okay, fast forward. I inserted some cellos here just to emphasize the drag. By the way, this song is not originally in 4/4 time. It's originally in 6/8 time. So I used 4/4 here because I was reserving that iconic 6/8 feel in the ending. not the other way around, because it's just simple tension and release, just to give a little tension to those who know the song, so they're gonna feel it's a little different, and then there's a very satisfying feeling in the end when they get the 6/8 feel of the song, but with a little twist, of course, because that's the part where they all sing all together. So what happened here is there I just went along with the 4/4 and created a very lush feeling here in the chorus. Here's the chorus.
Pinamulan, bayan ko ka. Ako ngayon'y nag-iisa. Nais kong magbalik sa iyo.
Okay, fast forward, and then we going to the transition to the very big ending, the chorus.
Na aking
I inserted the 6/8 tempo there. So, but it's a little different, right? Because of the drums, the rhythm and all. But let's see how it works out. Okay, so let's see what's happening there in the background. I just inserted something interesting here, given the nature of the song and the nature of this band and their background and this event. I think this is just fitting. So let's see. I will remove the vocals and let's see what's happening in the background here. Okay, so that's the Philippine National Anthem, or at least feels like the Philippine National Anthem. Okay, so I remember Joey Ayala's talk before. I think that's in TED Talk. Oh, no, that's in UP. That he mentioned that our national anthem should be best sung in 6/8 because that's how Filipinos are. So I think this was sort of inspired also by that. So there's pretty much not accurately the Philippine national anthem there, Lupang Hinirang, but there are some parts, some very distinct parts that sounds like the Philippine national anthem, which I gave to the horn parts, trumpets, and the strings. So that's what's happening in the background, on top of or underneath the melody of this song. So let's listen to it again until the end.
sa landas na aking tinahan.
A pretty standard ending there. Okay. So basically that's it. A little borrowing from here and there. If you'll notice, some of the elements are just practically just recycled. The guitar part here, is the same guitar part here in the end. Just to give a sense of uniformity to the overall arrangement. Also, the spiccato strings in the beginning
Ako'y may
is recycled in the end. Not exactly the same, but the feel, yeah, is there. Yeah, there, and a lot of quotation from the songs that were incoming, and that's basically what they did to make this all work together. To all sound uniform and coherent. So that's it. I think that's it for this episode, and I'll be breaking down some of my other works, and hope you would subscribe to my channel. And I hope you find this interesting. Just comment down below if you have any questions, or if I may have said something that's wrong, or you need clarification on, just comment, and I'll get back to you. All right. Thank you.